What up, Grumpy Nation? I am back today with a new series I like to call the What If series. And today we start with Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy, as you should know if you're an NBA fan, was touted as one of the greatest to play by his peers until he had Swiss cheese knees and he could not continue to play, which is a travesty for everyone because I think Brandon Roy was awesome. So today in the What If series, we're going to say, what if Brandon Roy never got hurt and his knees were made of steel? So I started in 2006, his rookie season, and I found a roster that was really competent. It was the best roster I could find from that season. So every year I'm going to download the next draft class. So next year's will be the 2007 draft class. Then I'll go ahead and download the 2008 draft class, so on and so forth until I get to the current roster. And hopefully he'll still be playing. Now if Brandon gets traded, I'll follow that team to where he went traded. If he decides to sign with somebody else, I'll go ahead and take control of that team and follow it. Now I put everything on auto, so there will be no tampering whatsoever. We'll see what happens with Brandon Roy. I feel like the Blazers might have a few in this What If series. So that's where we're going with this. Now I will simulate and show you the stats of the first few seasons, and then I will go ahead and simulate it out until he is retired to see what he ended up with and how his stats compare to some of the greats. So without further ado, here is part 1 of the What If series, What If Brandon Roy. All right, so here we go with the first season, and we see that we have Jarrett Jack at starting point guard, Brandon Roy, obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge, Zach Randolph, and Udoka, who not that great. So the team doesn't look that great. Now, if you do remember, I think they had another high draft pick that year. So Dixon, Webster, whatever. These guys, hey, Prisbilla. I like Prisbilla. 69, that's not good. Darius Miles, man. But I went ahead this year, and I looked at the actual minutes that year played for the Blazers. And I basically am setting the minutes to exactly how they were that year. After that, I'm pretty much just going to let it roll. But this year, just to make it realistic, I went ahead and set the minutes to exactly what I looked up online. And these are the minutes that they averaged. I'm going to set this up, and then I'll go ahead and simulate. All right, the minutes are set, and we are going to simulate Brandon Roy's rookie season. Let's hope that he can get Rookie of the Year again like he did in real life. All right, and we are terrible. So the Blazers finished 23-59. Tim Duncan gets the MVP. Of course he does. 23.5, 14, 4, 3 blocks, almost 2 steals. Tim Duncan is a G. There we go. Brandon Roy, Rookie of the Year. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block on the season. So he recreated it. He got his Rookie of the Year. Now, I think he averaged way more than that, the real Brandon Roy, but I don't remember. Anyways, Rookie of the Year, that's pretty cool. So basically, I'm going to simulate the rest of this stuff. We did not make the playoffs, so hopefully we'll get a good draft pick and get some help for Brandon Roy because 23-59 is not good. I just want to see who's in this draft. Now, this is the actual 2K historic draft class. So 2007, we already know. No Greg Oden for us. Please, no Greg Oden. Kevin Durant goes number 1 to the Chicago Bulls. That is a solid pick. I will say that. Number 2, Greg Oden. Now, it did say previously not to draft Greg Oden because he had blown out knees. And it did say for us to not draft a guy, I forget who, but most likely, knowing the Blazers, we'll probably end up drafting him. But Greg Oden goes number 2 to the Lakers. Number 3, we have Mike Conley to the Timberwolves. It's not terrible. It's a good idea. Al Horford. Al Horford is a solid draft pick. He is a number 4 pick to Philadelphia. And here come the Blazers, going to mess it up. And Gary Stanley. Who? Gary Stanley, point guard. Now, we did need a point guard in their defense. But, really? Gary Stanley? Who went after Gary Stanley? Marc Gasol. Okay. Well, we had Prisbilla. Didn't Prisbilla start? He's like a 69. We got Marc Gasol right there, and we pass up on him. So, and Joakim Noah. Cool. So, the Blazers basically don't care, and they draft like shit. So, here we go, and into the next season. I simmed through everything, so let's look at our lineup now. We have Tyronn Lue starting at point guard, so we must have signed him in free agency. Brandon Roy, we've got Steven Jackson there, which is cool. All right, Steven Jackson, nice. Zach Randolph at the 4, and LA is somehow playing the 5. Travis Outlaw's still there. Yeah, it's pretty much the same lineup. There's that chump, Gary Stanley. We got Rafe LaFrance. So that is the lineup. Let's give these guys the proper minutes, and I guess we will start into year 2. Now, like I said, I'm not going to simulate and show you guys every year at the end because this is too much. So let's go. So Jason Kidd ends the season as MVP with 21, 7, and 10. Leo Foster, Rookie of the Year. I don't really know who that is, and he had terrible numbers. I don't know. Linton Armstrong, 6th Man of the Year. Not really sure, but he had a decent season for sure. KG, Defensive Player of the Year. Of course, LA, Most Improved, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple of assists and steals and whatnot. Lloyd Pierce gets Coach of the Year. Do we have anybody on the first team or in second team? Nope. Third team. Can we get a third team player? Kevin Durant made second team as a rookie. Wow. 25 points a game. That's impressive. Powell, too. That's cool. Powell. Thanks. And no, we don't have anybody. Hey, there's Kobe on third team. Doesn't look like we did anything. Again, we were 31-51, so we did actually win some more games, but not much better, probably because we blew the draft pick, as the Blazers tend to do, but we didn't make the playoffs. So let's sim to the offseason and try for year 2. Actually, you know what? I got to look at Brandon Roy's stats. I forgot to look at his stats. Let's look at Brandon Roy's stats. So 14 points a game. 14 points a game. So he was up on points. He was up on rebounds. He was the same on assists, the same on steals, and up a little bit on blocks. Basically the same exact numbers as he had the previous year. LaMarcus is the one who carried this team, but I mean, 14 points, it's not terrible. I feel like the real Brandon Roy would be much better. I think he had like 22 points a game at this point. Anyways, all right, let's go sim past all this BS and into the next offseason. All right, well, we have the 5th pick in this draft, so let's just see. Derrick Rose goes number 1 to the Houston Rockets. And yeah, Derrick Rose is worthy of that number 1 pick, we all know. Another guy with glass knees, though, but whatever. All right. Russell Westbrook goes number 2 to the Clippers. They go with Kevin Love, who somehow has a beard and a mop of hair at this point in his rookie year, but whatever. So Kevin Love. We've got the Sixers. I feel like they had 4 last year too, but Eric Gordon goes to the Sixers at number 4. Now, we do need a center. We definitely need a point guard since our last year's point guard was garbage. And we get Danilo Gallinari, who before the draft uncovered an injury in Danilo Gallinari, and they said for us to not draft him, but in Blazer fashion, we go ahead and draft Gallinari, who I don't think is a bad player. Michael Beasley obviously goes 6. I don't think Gallinari is a bad player. I just think that it's funny when they tell us not to draft him, and we draft him anyway. So, hey, Brook Lopez. All right, let's simulate this crap. All right, so our new lineup is Quentin Ross, who came from the Clippers. So obviously we signed him. Brandon Roy at the 2. Steven Jackson at the 3. Zach Randolph, somehow an 88 still. I mean, he's not that much older than these other 2. And LaMarcus at the center position again. Gallinari there at 79. He's not terrible. Stanley, our last year's draft pick, is a 79. I feel like he's about to start soon. But yeah, so there is the starting lineup for year number 3. Let's sim. Let's see what happens. And it looks like another losing season and another lottery pick for the shit-ass Blazers. LeBron James, MVP, 31 points a game. That is decent. Almost average a triple-double. Almost. 32 or 31, 7, and 7 is not bad. So he gets the MVP, and I feel like this is when LeBron starts to go. Biedrin, 6th Man of the Year. Do we have anybody? Kevin Garnett, Defensive Player of the Year again. Yeah, figures as much. Hey, LA, Most Improved again. How's that? 21, 10, 2, 1, 2. Not a terrible one, but oh my God, that's right. So he went from 15 his rookie year to 17 to 21. His rebounds have been up every year. Man, LaMarcus. I should have followed LaMarcus. Oh, well. All right. Dwayne Casey gets Coach of the Year. Somehow he's coaching in 2008. All right. Anybody in the All-NBA teams? I don't see us probably making it. Maybe LaMarcus, though. Maybe LA will make one of these teams. Maybe he'll be the golden boy. Nope. He is not on the second team, and he is not on the third team. So I don't feel like we're going to get any other. Yeah, we're not going to get any other ones. There's no way we're going to have anybody on the defensive team. The same usual suspects on the offensive and defensive teams. Yeah, we're not doing jack. All right, let us simulate the playoffs. And I feel like this is going to be it for me. So after this, I'm going to go ahead and simulate Brandon Roy's career. Again, if something changes and Brandon gets, yeah, so Brandon had 14.5, so he went down a little bit. His points went up, but he went down a little bit on everything else. LaMarcus is just, look at this. This is ridiculous, man. This is pretty crazy. LaMarcus is having a great season, but Brandon went up in points, but down in the other stats, which is not the best. So I'm going to simulate the rest of this dude's career. Now, if he gets traded or he signs somewhere else or something crazy happens, MVP or something like that, I will stop the sim. But otherwise, we're going all the way until Brandon Roy retires. So I'll see y'all in probably what's going to feel like an eternity. All right, I went ahead and stopped it because LeBron retired. So there is LeBron at the age of 39, 21 years pro, 10-time MVP, 4-time NBA champion, a 20-time All-Star, 17-time first-team All-NBA. Now, that is ridiculous. Look at that. He just crushed it. 2019 through 2032, he was on fire. Second-team All-NBA 3 times. Defensive Player of the Year twice. First-team All-Defensive 4 times. Second-team All-Defense 5. Rookie of the Year in 2004. First-team All-Rookie 2004. LeBron James. See you later, dude. He is done. 21 years pro at the age of 39. There's Chris Paul, Tony Parker, Ben Gordon. So there you go. All right, let's keep it rolling. All right, I went ahead and stopped it because Brandon Roy is a free agent, and he did not get signed for 2 years straight. 2 years, Brandon Roy did not get signed at the age of 40. So that is that. That is the end of Brandon Roy's career. 17 years of pro. 17 years pro, and he is not on a team for 2 years in a row. I don't look through this crap. Brandon also did not win a championship. Now, the Blazers made it to the finals maybe 2 or 3 times in his career, but they never got over the hump. So here you see 9-time All-Star, Brandon Roy, 9-time All-Star. He made the All-Star game a lot towards the end of his career, which is cool. Second-team All-NBA once, third All-NBA twice, Rookie of the Year in 2019, which would be 2006. I don't want to do the math, but obviously this isn't the real year, 2035, if he got drafted in 2006. But this is it for Brandon Roy. He is finally done sailing off into the sunset at age of 40, 2 years removed from the league because he did not get signed, which kind of sucks. I'm not sure why. I guess he was pretty expensive, so he did not get signed. But here are his point totals for his career. He did really well the last few years of his career. It's actually the highest point total he had pretty much the whole time. As you can see down here, it's pretty much the same. He hovered around 13 to 17 points a year, points per game a year, I should say, but never went over that 20-point hump, which in real life he ended up doing early on before he got injured. But yeah, not the greatest season in his last year, and then, like I said, he sat for, I think, a year or 2. So that is it for episode 1 of the What If series, Brandon Roy. Now, I'm pretty bummed because Brandon Roy obviously was better than this Brandon Roy, but nevertheless, no championships for Brandon Roy in his 17 seasons. Sat out the last 2 years as a free agent because nobody wanted to sign a 40-year-old at that contract. Pretty much a bummer. Sometimes 2K does that where they don't sign people, and it's kind of weird, but I figured 2 years in a row was time to end it for Brandon Roy. So there he goes, sailing off into the sunset with no championships. It is a bummer. Thank you guys for watching today. Subscribe if you have not. Like and comment, and actually comment below and give me some suggestions on the next What If in the series. If your favorite team had a blunder, or if somebody got hurt and they never, don't do Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose came back and is doing great actually. But, give me some ideas on who I should do next on the What If series, and I will definitely try to get it in there for you. Otherwise, keep watching for more uniform videos. I like the feedback you guys have been giving me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Grumpy Nerd is out. Peace.